I'm Alex Othersby, and this is my web series review for The Adventures of Serena Berg. This is a mixed-style series about a group of LGBTQ+ collegiates and their developing relationships. It's based on Edmond Rostan's Serena de Bergerac. Some things that I really liked about this web series was the inclusiveness of the web series. There's just so many characters who are both LGBTQ+ in some way, who are also people of color, and I just really appreciated that because those two things are typically very difficult to find web series with representation for. There's also several characters who deal with depression and anxiety, so I thought that that was a really good depiction, that instead of it just being like, oh, a special learning episode, we see how multiple characters have experienced trauma or experienced mental illness. Even though they don't necessarily experience it in the same ways, they still, find ways to support each other. The main character of this web series, the Serena character, her name is Serena. She is a trans demi-romantic woman of color. I believe she's also a lesbian. I think that's stated somewhere in the series. And I think what's really interesting is a lot of series tend to shy away from putting what I think is deemed in popular culture as too many special labels on a character, but I think it's important to remember that those people do exist in the world. There are real people who are demi-romantic trans lesbians who are also Asian. I felt that Serena's reason for the vlogging portions of the web series was a good one. It didn't really feel contrived. Her big, which is a term for when you're in a sorority or fraternity, you have an older person who serves as a mentor for you. Her big has moved to New York City, and she's sending him vlogs and little videos in order to kind of keep him up to date on what's going on in her life. And I think what I liked about this was letter writing is such a huge focus in the original work, and the vlogs and just the videos in general provide a new way of sharing information and of filling in those blanks. I really liked the depiction of depression in this web series. I found it very relatable, and the fact that Roxanne isn't deemed a terrible person. It's not a horrible secret that she has depression, and she doesn't hold a lot of shame about it, and I think that that's really important. Some things that I didn't like about this web series were some editing issues. There are several times in the series where characters communicate by phone. The directors and videographers chose to show the phone screens. I felt like those shots went by too fast for me to actually read what was on the screen, which was sometimes plot relevant. So I definitely had to pause in order to catch up. I also felt that the captions, while I really enjoyed that there were captions because accessibility is really important with media, the captions again went by a little too fast, and sometimes I had to pause to read some of them. Another thing that was difficult for me about this web series was a lot of characters are introduced in a short time. There's a lot of secondary and minor characters, and I had a hard time kind of keeping track of, okay, this person is that person's roommate and this person's girlfriend, and it was a little distracting. I didn't like I'm not a fan of time skips. That's just a personal preference of mine. My problem with time skips is that the character development that happens in between doesn't get shown, and so to the audience it feels to us like, oh, characters have just somehow gotten over all their issues, or they've suddenly moved past things, or so much has happened that we can't catch up. Not in this particular case did I feel like it was lazy writing, but in terms of TV, when TV shows do it, I feel like in that case it's because the writers don't know how to deal with a situation they've set up, and so they time skip just so that they can get the emotional drama without having to actually deal with the fallout. I didn't feel like that was what was happening in this particular web series, just to clarify, but that's just some background on why I hate time skips. I didn't feel like Chris was inspired by Roxanne in the way that he says. I understand that their relationship is obviously and not live up to their expectation of this great romantic drama, but I felt that we didn't really see him being inspired by her on screen. So a later comment he makes about how their relationship was really important to him didn't really ring true for me. I would definitely watch this series if you prefer shorter episodes. The episodes are around a general length of 3 to 6 minutes. So it's really good for watching several episodes in a day. If you are really looking for representation for LGBTQ plus people of color, specifically women of color, I did a little bit of research and I saw that when they were looking for actors, they definitely were highlighting inclusiveness, so I think that's really important. And I think web series that do go that extra mile and not just be lazy and, engage with the media's connection with white supremacy, I think that that's always web series that we should support, who do take extra steps to ensure diversity. And I would also watch this web series if you're really into college-specific literary-based web series. I feel that the college setting definitely adds a lot of things. There's a lot of relatable stresses that you can get from multiple grades. So somebody in high school might not be able to relate to living on your own, but they can definitely relate to, oh my gosh, the pressure for school. And people who have already graduated or who never went to college might not be able to relate to the school portion, but they can definitely relate to growing older and feeling all those pressures. I have to find all these new friends. I have to find this person maybe that I want to be with forever. So I feel like college setting web series definitely include a lot of elements that other people from older and younger and different lifestyles can pull into. If you prefer shorter series, so you prefer something that's like 6 episodes or 12 episodes, then I probably would skip this series. I believe that the full series has 75 episodes, not including like fun ad additions like blooper reels and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a shorter series you can binge watch more easily, I would maybe skip this series. If you're looking for series with supernatural elements, then I would skip this series. There's no supernatural elements in the original work, and there's no supernatural elements in this adaptation. So if you're looking for something that includes more magical realism, then I would definitely find something else. There's a lot of options for you. And this is a mixed style series, so if you're looking for something that follows one strict format, so only TV style or only vlog, and you're not a fan of one or the other, so a mixed style would not appeal to you, then I would skip this series. As always, I'll put a link to the web series in the description box. I highly suggest you watch it. I've also recently gotten a Tumblr, which I've never had before, so it's a little, I've like lurked before on other people's, like, just typing in the URL, but I've never actually like had a Tumblr before. So if you have web series recommendations and you don't feel comfortable sending them to me on YouTube, or you don't have a YouTube account, then you can send them to me there. I'm always looking for things to add to my list. It is very long, but that's a good thing. So I will see you next time.